Like,
Yeah.
all the sex in this film is super unsexy. It's gross.
It's disgusting. It's like kind of like this coarse, brutal, sloppy, messy.
It's in the
like
back of a car. It's not even a nice car. It's like super, it's an Oldsmobile. It's super lame.
If it was an Audi, it would have been perfectly fine. No.
Your back.
Welcome to Cinematics Problematics, where we celebrate your guilty pleasures. I'm Chrissy Reddick.
And I am Erin Maxwell.
And today we're talking about John Badham's gritty 1977 disco classic, Saturday Night Fever. It follows the life of Tony Manero, a handsome yet emotionally mature young man who lives at home but escapes the shadow of his disapproving parents by going to the 2001 Odyssey club every weekend where he is king of the disco. He convinces a headstrong, ambitious girl from his neighborhood, Stephanie, to be his dance partner at the disco contest and prove that he's not just a screw-up and actually has something to give back to the world, and learns a little bit about sophistication and potential along the way. All the while, he hangs out with his frankly terrible friends who revel in racism, sexual assault, and violence, which unfortunately rubs off on him too. All to an iconic soundtrack from the Bee Gees, which made all of this horrific behavior much easier to dance to. The film stars John Travolta, Karen Lynn Gorney, Joseph Calley, Barry Miller, Paul Pape, Donna Pascal, and Julie Bravasso, and has a running time of 1 hour and 59 minutes. Erin, when was the first time you saw this movie?
Now, I know that we talk a lot about how we saw movies at different and inappropriate ages, thanks to either HBO or Blockbuster or whatever local VHS house rented us stuff. This is one my parents specifically guarded me against. And when I did watch it, because it was marketed as a musical and it's not a musical, as a child, I lost interest in it very quickly, because it didn't deliver on that front. So I didn't really see it until the 90s when it was revived as midnight screenings. So I saw it in like 1991, 1992, when it was doing the midnight screening route, like against Rocky Horror.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I saw it, like as a young teenager.
And what was your initial reaction to it?
Honestly, it was shock. I did not realize what this movie was about.
Right.
Because, again, it had one of the greatest marketing campaigns of all time, because it marketed a vibe, and I bought the vibe, which was John Travolta in the yellow suit and just him on the dance floor. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, in the white suit. He's in the white suit and he's just on that rainbow dance floor, and it was on the album, and the album opened up and it was everywhere, and that's all you knew of the movie. So you just kind of assumed it was a musical. But that was not the movie. The movie is like 10% that, and then 90% just heartbreaking realism that grinds you down. And It is one of my favorite movies of all time, to tell you the truth.
Because of those very reasons.
Because of that exact reason. Like, I just find this to be an absolutely fascinating character study that, like, I can watch 1,000 times, and every single time I find something new in it, and it is just devastating, but I love it in that totally fantastic way that you watch something and you get something new out of it every single time. It's just like going to an excavation site and you dig and you find something new every time. And I love that. But like, yeah, that was my first time watching it. What about you?
So I saw Grease before I saw this movie, and I was aware of John Travolta because I watched some of his like 1980s movies, because I think like I watched Perfect, I think I saw like Look Who's Talking before this one. I think I saw like some John Travolta movies before this one, but I became obsessed with him when I watched Grease. I saw it on video, and I think I must have been like, I don't know, maybe 13 or 14 when I first saw Grease, because I rented it. And I just loved Grease, and I loved him in it. I love the songs. I memorized the whole thing. And then I was like, this kind of like kicked off a period of like my movie going history where I just like went back in time and I said, I need to watch some of the classics. And one of them was, I was like, I got to watch Saturday Night Fever because it's like the one that kind of like skyrocketed him to fame. Right. So I remember I'm over at my dad's house. It was like I love the Bee Gees too. I was like obsessed with the Bee Gees. Like my dad listened to oldies all the time. And I was like, I love the Bee Gees. I love John Travolta. I need to see this film. So I watched it. And like you, I was totally shocked. I'm like, this is not the movie I signed up for. And at first it made me feel really gross and dirty just because of like a lot of the stuff that happens in it. I'm like, God, these people are fucking terrible. They're awful people. Like his friends mostly, right? His friends are just
Dirtbags.
complete dirtbags,
Dirtbags.
assholes, just like very few redeeming qualities except for their seeming devotion to one another. And like, that's basically it. And otherwise, they're racist. They sexually assault women. They objectify women and call them bitches and cunts. They beat people up. It's like they're just, there's not a ton happening for his friends. And Tony's like the one that sticks out because he does have this vulnerability and this confidence and like about him, but he still kind of like has like that immaturity and that anger kind of like brewing beneath the surface. And you're right, it is like it's more than anything, it's a character study of like somebody who's coming from kind of like an underprivileged background, who isn't appreciated at home. Like his parents give him a hard time, think he's a screw up. He has like this one thing he's good at. And it kind of like forms like his whole identity. And it's like how, like it's about him trying to parse this idea that his parents have about him as this fuck up, but he happens to be amazing at this one thing. And there is a universe where he is at the top of his game and everybody knows it. And he's like the most popular guy and he's the most handsome guy and he's got the most game, And like it takes this woman, Stephanie, to kind of like tease out this potential in him, like this softer side that says, you do have something else. You can achieve other things if you go for it. And you don't have to be an asshole to get there. Right. And by the end of the movie, it's like that barrier. It's like he's not perfect by the end by any stretch of the imagination, but the armor is cracked just enough to let some good stuff in. So yeah, I was shocked when I saw it. It was not the movie I expected. I had really conflicted feelings about it after I saw it. But in the end, I do, like as an adult, I think I appreciate it more now than I did when I was a teenager. Just because I felt so confused about what it was trying to do based on the marketing, right? So
yeah, there is, in my mind, there's no better film that best represents the 70s because it represents 70s just what the 70s look like on a very surface matter, like as far as leisure suits and discos, what the 70s sounded like as far as the disco era. It brought in the disco era. This is what made disco big.
mm-hmm.
But it also represented that kind of renegade film style that the 70s became known for, which
Mm-hmm.
was gritty realism, dark storylines, character growth,
Anti-heroes.
anti-heroes, everything that you want to see that the 70s, that Wild West film style that the 70s became known for, that's here in this movie. It just hides it under a dance movie.
Yeah. Now, do you what do you think would have happened to the legacy of this film if it had been marketed in a more honest way? Like if it had been marketed as kind of like a gritty character study of this guy and like these really, really awful friends that he has and like this environment. I mean, I think it is trying to capture something very real about that neighborhood and that life. And I think that they do a good job. It's like these people exist and they're racist and they're terrible and they treat women terribly. But yeah, like what do you think would have happened? Do you think that it would have been as popular as it is today and as celebrated as it is today had it just been framed differently?
I mean, then you would have just basically had like Clockwork Orange with a happy ending.
And light up dance floor.
Yeah, and a light up dance floor.
Fair enough.
Like this is, if you take away the marketing from this, and the marketing is just, we should do a whole study on how this was marketed. Like seriously, this is just genius. But if you take away the soundtrack and the marketing from this, I don't know if it would have done as well, but I do think that eventually it would have done well. People would have come back to this and studied it.
Yeah.
I think it would have just been an undiscovered gem that people
Right.
later came back to. But because it found its voice early on and people realized how they could market it as a vibe, it just immediately took off like a rocket.
Yeah. And I think that you almost like, I have to give like so much credit to the soundtrack too, especially like the Bee Gees portion. I mean, there are like a lot of other disco songs in this film, like the Beethoven's Fifth Disco version. There's Disco Duck in this film, you know? But I think like when you take the soundtrack on its own, like when you extract it from the movie, is just full of joy. Like you just want to dance to it. I mean, there's some like beautiful ballads in there too, like How Deep Is Your Love is like one of my favorite songs. It's great. But I think like it's almost like exists in two worlds in a way, just because the soundtrack is so popular and so dancey and so iconic. Like you almost forget that the movie's about what it's about when you listen to it, you know? So, anyways. All right. So there are a ton of problems with this film, Aaron. A ton.
There are.
Um, and so I want you to kick us off with some of the things that might be a little bit problematic.
Well, let's talk about Tony and his friend.
All right. If we must.
The first issue is all of his friends are douchebags.
All of
Every
them.
single one of them. They're racist. They're misogynistic. They are not great people. They're just horrible, horrible people.
Yeah. Except for maybe, I mean, they're all horrible, but I think like the least horrible one is probably Bobby C, like the youngest kid in the group. And he is very vulnerable, and all he wants is somebody to like listen to him and to talk to him, but he's kind of like always overshadowed by the older guys, and they just want to use him for his car and stuff.
He
Like,
gets a pass in a way, only because he's not really, it's more like, what is it? What are their names? JJ?
JJ, no, so there's Joe, there's Double J,
Double J.
but there is a Joe and a Double J, I believe. Like they're two separate
Yeah.
people. And then there's Tony, and then there's Bobby, and then there was Gus. Gus gets jumped towards the beginning of
And
the.
he lied about it.
Yeah, that asshole.
What an asshole. Like,
He did say probably. He did say probably it was the Barracudas.
he's all like, you guys needed an answer. And I'm like, God, you're such a
I know.
guy.
Like,
Every single one
not
of
too
his
bright.
friends, they're racist, they're homophobic, they're misogynistic, they're pieces of shit. They represent the very worst of society. They're the droogs.
But those are the guys that I think, like in a neighborhood like that, those are the guys that you stick with, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Like those are the guys that you stick with because they're gonna have your back no matter fucking what, and that's like their one redeeming quality.
it's the Goodwill Hunting issue. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
they will have your back no matter what.
Those guys were cool. I like those.
Yeah, those guys
though.
were great. Those guys were great. They're the kind of guys that'll pick up a tire iron and like defend you.
Right. Both of those groups of guys are gonna have your back no matter what. But one is way the Goodwill Hunting guys I want to hang out with, kind of.
And it's to a degree, Travolta's character, Tony is like that too. In the very, he's a very deeply flawed, very sexist, very angry character because he feels very trapped.
Mhm.
He is the only way he has any ability to express himself is on that dance floor. And he has that one night a week or 2 nights a week there he can go out to the Odyssey and go and express himself. But the rest of the week he is at the paint store. He's living with his parents. He's living this humdrum existence where he doesn't matter. His parents and his family sees him as a loser. They don't understand him. Nobody really likes him except for when he's at the club or his
Right.
friends.
Right. And there, like, everybody knows him. Everybody likes him. Like, he gets drinks, he gets girls, he'll go out and dance with girls who, well, I mean, this is like derogatory, but like charity cases, he has like this kind of friendly, charming side to him that his friends just don't seem to possess. And they would never have the mojo to pull off in the first place, so he stands out a lot, like amongst his friends, even though he does carry like a lot of the flaws. He has like this vulnerability. Like you can see that there is like this emotional potential in him that you don't see in his friends at all. But anyways, let's get back to it. So fucking asshole friends. Yes.
The misogyny in this film is throughout the film. It is part of the culture. It is rarely challenged. No one really stands up for any of the women there. The women are his Tony and his friends routinely harass, they demean, and they objectify women. Sex is treated as a conquest. The women are basically, their only worth is through their desirability or their submission. Until, Stephanie. And that's just how it is. That's just how it is during at that nightlife.
Yeah. It's pervasive, like, throughout the film. Like, that's, like,
Yeah.
the one through line. Like, it's almost constant. Like, they're calling women bitches. They're calling them cunts. They're calling them whores. Like, they feel entitled to them, And even Tony, it's like he gets jealous for, like, the littlest thing. It's just, like, once you kind of, like, tapped, like, a girl and, like, marked your territory, it's like you're not supposed to touch her or anything like that. And, like, they just take him into the back of Bobby C's car and have sex with them and then just toss them to the side.
Right.
The sex scenes are only kind of, like, interspersed with, throughout the film, like, it's just terrible commentary about the women around them, especially Annette, who is also pervasive throughout the film as kind of like a hanger-on to these guys. And they make fun of her and they do not respect her, and they treat her terribly. She seems like a nice enough girl, but she just never gets any actual respect from any of them ever. And Stephanie, even, she is somebody who is kind of like the breaking the mold for Tony, because she's not putting up with his shit. She's got her shit together. She's got ambition, which is something that he's not used to seeing. And he has no fucking idea what to do with it.
I just want to say, like, the women here, and it's like the sex here is so unsexy.
It is.
It is. And as for as sexy as John Travolta is in this film, super sexy, it goes nowhere. Like, all the sex in this film is super unsexy. It's gross.
It's disgusting. It's just kind of like this coarse, brutal, sloppy, messy.
It's in the back of a car.
In the back of a car.
It's not even a nice car. It's like super, it's an Oldsmobile. It's super lame.
If it was an Audi, it would have been perfectly fine.
I mean, listen, it's like an American-made 70s car. You could stretch out back there. I had one of those, like, in high school. I had like a 72 Skylark. Like, I could fit like 42 of my friends back there. It's totally fine. Drive through a wall. It was great.
I had a Bronco for my first car, which totally would have had enough space to have sex, and yet I never had sex in it.
Yeah. Okay. So I never had sex in my car, but all my friends had sex in my car. So
you can relate to Tony and his friends pretty well.
I'm pretty well. Like, now, whose car was that in the movie? I was that guy.
Yeah. You were the friend with the car. I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, all of the sex is, like, unsexy either because it's messy and sloppy and cramped in the back of a car with just some dude's pants pulled down, or it's actual, like, rape, which is automatically unsexy, obviously. But
so let's get into the Annette issue.
Okay, let's talk about Annette.
I have a whole page on what I like to call the Annette issue. And we're going to take a moment to talk about Donna Pescow because she does a really great job.
She's incredible.
She's really good. If you grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, you'll know her from Out of This World. She played the mom to the alien Evie.
I remember.
And that was my first introduction to her. So it was very weird to see her in this role because I'm just so used to her worrying about her alien daughter. But hey, roll with it.
By the way, she aged incredibly too, because she looks like the exact same age.
She did. And it was, it's very jarring. It's very jarring for me when I saw this the first time. I was like, hey.
Yeah, it's kind of like seeing Bob Saget on Full House and then hearing him do stand-up. And you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Early Saget stand-up is also very jarring.
I know. That's what I'm talking about. But I first saw him on Full House, and then I saw a stand-up, and I was like, what the shit? What is this? It was so foul. Anyways, all right, go ahead. Donna Pescow.
So I think she was a virgin also in the backseat of that car.
Okay, I'm not sure about that, but I believe you.
I mean, I don't have any concrete evidence. Like, I can't give you anything to prove that. But other than the fact that the way she talked to Tony about making it throughout the film, like, she put too much importance on it.
Yeah.
So the way she spoke, I just got the impression that she was not someone that was sexually active.
the way that I read it was that she was just so desperate for a boyfriend that she was like, and she was like particularly obsessed with Tony, that she was like hyper fixated and obsessed to the point where that's all that like she could think about or talk about, with this emphasis like on the sex and on making it with him or whatever. I just took it as like an obsession amplified, and like that's like the only thing that she could talk about. I mean, because I think like at a certain point in the movie too, when she's talking to because they had dated before, they had gone out before, and they stopped going out because he said he was bored talking to her because all she would talk about is her married sisters
Right.
and getting married. And so I was like, okay, well, that tracks. So she probably just wants to get married, and she probably wants to lock down a guy like as fast as possible. And if it's Tony Manero, even better, right? That was like her goal. But I mean, it's entirely possible she was a virgin. Like,
We could both be right.
uh, the two are probably mutually exclusive, but okay. It's kind of like that question. It's just like, am I a virgin if I do X, And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I just feel, but she's very much wants male attention. She very much wants Tony's attention. She very clearly is in love with him.
Right.
He is the king of the disco. He is everything. And she is convinced that once she has him, her life will be better. Just like he is convinced that every time he steps onto the dance floor, his life gets better. She is a female representation of him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in Tony's case, his life actually does get better, like when he's on that dance floor, because he just dances with like so much enthusiasm and joy and style, and like he's just like totally into it.
Yeah.
Like there's no saying what would have happened. Like if she actually got with Tony, she would probably, I mean, she'd probably convince herself she was happy, but he was awful to her.
I know, but when that first scene where they're dancing together and they have those moments where they look into each other, I'm like, I was feeling it. I was feeling it. Like, you go.
They had good dancing chemistry. They had very good dancing
They had
chemistry.
good dance chemistry. Yeah, I didn't think that they would. Like, I remember, like, because you look at them, there's a height difference. It doesn't look like they would dance well together, but they do. They dance very well together.
Yes.
When they are together, they don't seem friendly. They don't seem like friends. They don't speak of things that friends speak of. When he's with Stephanie, they talk of lots of things.
Yes.
He doesn't talk of lots of things with Donna. Donna only wants to get into a relationship with him, and that is the only focus of their conversations.
Right. And I think that's like kind of led by her too, because like she makes it the focus of every conversation.
Exactly.
Like if it was left up to Tony, like he would never talk about this shit because he has no interest in dating her. But with Stephanie, she kind of like turns it around, and like she forces like this conversation about what are you interested in. She turns it about books. She talks about interesting people. She talks about the world. She talks about taking classes. She talks about like higher ambitions for herself. And I think that takes him aback. He's just like, oh shit, I'm like used to these women who just like want to have sex or dance with me. And like, here's this woman who's interested in all these other things. So I think that's like a major difference too. It's like she's like this complete like unknown to him. Like he's not used to girls like this, and he has no idea what to do with her.
I think that Stephanie represents everything that he can have moving forward, and that like will just hold him back.
Yeah. Right.
And the thing is that the film also kind of positions Stephanie as someone who not only just tries too hard, but kind of subtly invites the audience to laugh at her in many ways.
You mean Annette?
Yeah, Annette. Yeah. Annette, to like judge her and laugh at her in many ways. And they kind of emphasize that she's kind of the joke and the butt of the joke of many situations.
Yeah.
And even though it doesn't do it like overtly, like it doesn't play her off as a fool, or it doesn't like do any slapstick humor in any kind of way, it just leaves it open to interpretation that she's a joke.
Well, I mean, in fairness, like she's very young. She's allegedly younger than all the other guys. Right. And Tony's like 19. So she's very young. She doesn't know any better. Her hormones are probably raging, and she gets put down by these guys all the time. Every single time they make fun of her, they call her names, they make it apparent that she is not desirable, but she keeps going back. she keeps on going back for it, you know? And I think like the thing that sucks is that it's like, yes, like in the conversation about like a depiction of women, like I don't like it, but at the same time, there are totally teenage girls like this, you know? Like the girls that just don't know any better and haven't built up self-confidence yet and like don't know to say fuck you know, to a guy that says that shit to them, you know?
Yeah.
And so in a way it's like very, very real and like very authentic.
When you get to the scene where she is raped and really badly sexually assaulted in the backseat of the car by Tony's two friends, and Tony is present and he is watching it and he does nothing to help her, and then he insults her when it's done, it's almost positioned that she deserves it in a way.
Yep.
And it's one of the most disturbing scenes in the entire film.
I think it's the most disturbing scene in the entire film.
Because
Like
it's that whole sequence is very disturbing because it's
Right.
followed right afterwards with the suicide.
Right.
So the sequence of events is upsetting because there's also no consequences for her perpetrators that did it. You never see
Right.
what happens. They just take her away.
Well, and it sucks too because like she becomes like hysterical, you know, like she's like
Right.
crying her eyes out and she's like saying, I didn't want it, I didn't want it, I didn't want it, you know, and like they're on the bridge and Tony, I guess, is like trying to console her
And
in
then
his
gets
weird way.
distracted.
And he gets distracted, but at the same time, it's like the one thing that like resonated with me is that she can't get out of this. Like she has no escape. Like she's with them, she's on a bridge, they have a car. What is she supposed to do? Just like walk home by herself at night or something? I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. I probably would have tried to run or
Yeah.
something, but she's in this position where she's like, she probably has no idea what to fucking do. She's crying her eyes out. And so this horrible gang rape has happened in the back of this car, but it's like, oh shit. Now the attention turns to Bobby C, who's, you know, trying to emulate his friends by like climbing up the bridge rope thing and dancing on top of it and fucking around. And there is absolutely no punishment for these dudes.
No.
Like,
And I don't know if it's a choice of the filmmaker or the writer that maybe it's just there to highlight that her pain only exists maybe to show how ugly the world is and how bad things can get before things get better. And maybe they use
sure.
her as an example.
Yeah.
Or maybe they are using it to teach the audience a lesson in that you shouldn't lower yourself because this can happen. But whatever the situation is, there's no character arc for her.
No.
She's just taken to this low and left there.
Yes.
And
Right.
then the audience is almost left there with her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
that's totally
only
true.
brought back up by Tony's character growth. But if you felt anything for Annette, it's still down there. And she's
Yeah.
just kind of, that's like, it's almost as if she died.
And that struck me when I first saw it too. I was just like, well, what about Annette? Like by the end of the film, I was just like, does she get any justice whatsoever? And
No,
the answer is no.
Justice for Annette, man.
Justice for Annette. Like, I want to make t-shirts. It's so sad. It's hard to know kind of like what the intent of a character like Annette is. Is it to show how awful these men are? Is it to kind of like represent what this type of neighborhood brings out in young men and what kind of environment that they live in? I have no idea. I don't know the right answer to that. But like the way that I read it is it's kind of like, because this is like a character study about a very specific type of guy, a very specific type of masculinity and everything. It's kind of like a slice of life. It's like this fucked up shit happens and then usually there is no resolution that makes us happy at the end of it in this world, you know?
And it's not that I necessarily need a happy ending per se, but I just feel like I understand that these are characters that are molded by their limited options.
Yes.
And then maybe that this is the result of those limited options.
Yeah.
And if you told me like, oh, the end result is that she ends up marrying one of these two thugs because she falls pregnant that night and that's her life.
That probably happens all the time back then.
Yeah. That probably,
You know?
that would track.
I mean, that was like Bobby's whole struggle, right? Is that he got a girl pregnant and he didn't know what to do and he's freaking out the entire movie about it.
Exactly.
So yeah, the stuff that happens with Annette is very, very, very disturbing, and watching it turned my stomach just as much as it did when I was a teenager. It was just, it's hard to watch that part, especially because Tony is such a layered character that goes between being an asshole and being somebody incredibly charming who you kind of like want to hang out with. You want him to do something. Like you really, really want him to do something, and he doesn't do anything. Like he just sits there and kind of closes his eyes. He knows it's wrong, but he does nothing. And that sucks.
It's very hard for him, I feel, because he knows what he's watching is incorrect, and he knows that it's wrong, but at the same time, it's his friends. The whole movie is framed with all of these like people. There's a complete lack of consequences,
right,
for almost every character in this film. And sometimes that's just the way it is. Sometimes life has no karma.
Right.
I mean, I live in a karma-less city at this point. Like, that's just the way Hollywood is. Like, sometimes people do terrible shit and then they just go about their day and then that's it. And life goes on. And then there's no consequences. And that's just how it is. And that's totally fine. Like, you don't necessarily need a happy ending. And you're not going to get one in this film. You're just going to get character growth.
That's it. That's all you're getting.
So
you're not getting any justice or anything.
Yeah, there's no justice here. I mean, like maybe one of them kind of got beat up and yay.
They took some punches, but I mean, in the end, they got away unscathed. Like they beat up the Barracudas and then nothing.
Yeah.
That's just what happens, But I don't know if like the cops even would have done something in that situation because it's just like, these thugs who attacked these other guys. And they probably have like bad ideas about what, the Barracudas are, either because they're racist or whatever. So what are they going to do? This is probably the type of shit they knew they could get away with anyways. Right. But that's like those guys, it's just like that's why they're so completely out of control is because they don't suffer consequences. So anyways, okay. So Annette, yes, that is probably for me the most deeply disturbing part of the entire movie. And she's like the best example that we have as to like how these guys think about women generally throughout the entire film. Okay. What else?
has had the issues with his friends, the misogyny, the Annette issue, and the complete lack of consequences is my bigger issues. What do you bring to the table?
Well, they're all racists.
Okay.
I mean, that's the big one.
Under the friend issue, but yeah, we could talk about the racism if you want.
Well, that was good. I was going to ask you. I'm like, there's so many things folded into the friend issue. It's like
really,
it's like a Russian doll of issues.
We'll dig deep into the friend issue. Yeah, they're super racist.
They're so racist.
Almost
like within the
right
first
off the bat.
In the first like 5 minutes, like they drop the N-word a couple of times.
Yeah.
They say the word spick a lot, which is obviously I don't think you hear the term very often like nowadays, but it is a very, very derogatory term for Hispanic or and for people who have no idea what the difference is. Like I'm sure like if like any person they see who looks Latino, I'm sure they call them that, back then because they just didn't make the distinction. But yeah, super racist. They're always talking about, them. Like there's like a little bit of racism directed towards the Puerto Ricans that they're dancing against in the contest. It's kind of like, and did you notice how like they're divided by races, by the way?
Yeah.
Like at the contest, it's like Tony's with all the white people, and then the black couple's with all the black people, and then the Puerto Ricans are with all their Puerto Rican friends. It's like a very racially divided setting, which I think is kind of like this miniature of the society that they live in outside. Like it is a fantasy inside this place, right? But those racial divides still exist in this, for, lack of a better term, like this utopia that they go to every weekend. So I don't know. I found that interesting.
Okay, let's talk about the dance contest because the dance contest was really interesting because as you pointed out, like it was all divided. Like you saw the little areas, everything was divided according to race. Then when you witnessed the dance contest itself, so you only really got to see 3 couples compete.
Right.
So the first couple was a black couple, and in my mind, and now I've seen this movie quite a few times. Every time I watch this scene, I think that black couple, they do great.
Yes.
They do amazing. They're
fantastic.
There. She's in harem pants. She's doing a great time.
You know what? Big smiles on their faces. They're like, they're taking up space on the dance floor.
They're doing some swing dancing in there. He's throwing her around and they get booed. And I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I thought they were great.
Because there are certainly there's judges. Like, why would they allow that? Like, they do not deserve to get booed.
No, not at all. No, they were fantastic. They had so much joy in their dancing.
Yeah.
I like had a big smile on my face when I was watching them dance because they looked
So
like they were having just a blast.
clearly, it's because they're in a Italian club, and so they're getting booed because of that and because of their race. And so I get that part, but there are other races there, and I guess, I just didn't get I don't know, it just seemed like they were trying too hard to be racist in that one moment.
Yeah. It was a different time for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
it was a
we're
time like when
going
people were
yeah,
and I think like back then, like there's like I mean, like I said, it's like there's just like a ton of like hard racial lines probably in that neighborhood that just get, reinforced inside the dance club,
you gotta try really fucking hard to be racist in that scene because those people were damn good dancers. They're like, I'm just gonna deny what I can't. I'm just gonna object openly to what I can't see. I'm just gonna pretend I can't see this amazing dancing.
I know.
So
Like we can't ignore it. We
yeah.
can't ignore it.
So then the next couple is Tony and
Mhm.
Stephanie, and they do fine
They're fine.
because
Like
honestly,
it was kind
we've
of bored.
seen what Tony can do when he's motivated.
When
And
Tony's
it's
dancing
not
by himself,
that.
he's like on fire when he's dancing by himself or when he
Yeah,
has like the right partner, right? And I think that Stephanie was the right partner, but their routine was just super
it
boring.
was so dull.
It
And
was.
it's a great dance number if you're at a wedding or a bar mitzvah or
Do they do dances like that at bar mitzvahs? I don't know. I've never been to one.
you could dance the hora. I mean, it depends on the bar mitzvah. Probably not a religious bar mitzvah, but like Cousin Steve's. Sure, why not? There's going to be a parent dance. But yeah, like it's just like that slow dance. It's just a wedding dance. It's just
Yeah.
so dull.
It
And
wasn't
like,
even an energetic song. It's just like, why did we pick this song?
yeah, and there wasn't any cool moves. There was nothing to
No.
wow you.
No, I was way more wowed in the beginning of the film when he was dancing with Annette.
Yeah.
Like that was way more
And
exciting than
then
this routine.
when he was dancing with that one like lame duck dancer that just wanted to get into his pants, and he's like, forget you, I'm gonna dance for myself. And then he like just put on a show.
Was it Fran Drescher? It was Fran Drescher. She's supposed to be a terrible dancer in this, and I don't buy that for a fucking second. I bet you in the 70s, Fran Drescher knew how to tear up a freaking dance floor.
I believe it.
You know what? I think that was acting to the tallest order, making Fran Drescher look like a bad dancer. I bet she was fabulous. I saw her in Dr. Detroit. Look at that woman. She's incredible. Anyways.
There's nothing.
But yeah, it was a boring routine.
I think it was Fran Drescher, but I think what threw me is that I don't realize how tall she was because like John Travolta's super tall.
I bet you she was in like high heels.
I don't know.
I think she is. I don't think she's that tall.
The 70s are a very confusing time for me height-wise because I have no idea how tall anybody is. Because to me, like John Travolta looked like he was like 9'10".
Yeah. Well, I think that he's tall. I think he's like legit tall. Isn't he?
Is he? I don't know.
I don't know either. But I mean, they picked actors that were probably like shorter than him, but the hair height adds like an optical illusion too.
The hair was like 1.5 feet of height, clearly.
It was a fabulous 1.5 feet. That was some great hair he had.
But and then everybody's shoes gave him an extra 3 feet.
Yes, exactly. Because everybody is like wearing those like heeled.
Are
they loafers
or platforms?
For men though.
Platforms.
They're platforms for men?
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were called that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I didn't know that. See, learned something new.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was Fran Drescher. It was totally Fran Drescher. She's on the IMDb too, and is looking stunning. And it's so weird because it's like he's dancing with her, and I couldn't really tell that she was a terrible dancer, but he said she was. So I was like, okay, I believe you.
She was fine. She's good for dancing if you want to like talk and chat on the dance floor. But he was there to dance. He was there to show off what he could do.
Yeah.
So
he's like, don't bring me down.
Yeah. Getting back to the dance contest, they were fine. And then came the dancers from Puerto Rico, who were phenomenal.
incredible.
Incredible.
And once again, it's like they were happy, they were energetic, they were shaking all over the place, and their music was tight. I mean, they fucking killed. They were incredible. They were great.
So I just feel like that scene was very interesting in the fact that it laid out all of the different races that this movie does a really good job of tearing down through the friend group
Yes.
and then building them back up in this
Mhm.
one scene by allowing Tony to be the lame duck dancer
Mhm.
in that one scene, and then him realizing I'm not the greatest, someone else is, and I
Right.
need to do my best in order to make this right.
Right, because it was like the one thing that he had to cling to, that he knew that he was better than everybody at, and he knew that he didn't meet the moment in that contest, like he knew it from like the time, like it was like a minute into the Puerto Rican dance routine that he was just like, wow, they're really good. Oh shit. He was just like, oh wow. He's like admiring them and like
Yeah,
shocked at like how good they are. And he's like impressed by how good they are. And so like when he wins, he doesn't see it as legitimate. He's just like, this is bullshit.
he's not a
I
man
didn't earn this.
he's not a man that impresses easily, man. He's not. Like, he doesn't go out there every week and go, "That guy looks great." No, he goes, "Fuck that guy."
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. And he's cocky. He's really
Yeah.
cocky. He knows how good he is and everything, but he knew that he wasn't as good. And the thing was, it's like he was doing this to prove something to himself, that he was better than like what his parents were telling him, and he felt like it was a false win. And he wanted to really, really genuinely win something and really genuinely show that he was the best one out there. And he didn't do that. And he knew that, which was like a really surprising moment of emotional maturity for him. Because up until that point, he's a child,
He is.
I mean, he is kind of a child, but anyways.
Listen, I need to get to the Chuck and Cherish part of this because I need to talk about this man's emotional growth because this is why I need to cherish this movie.
Okay, let's talk about the pros.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Tony is a product of limited options. He's not a traditional hero, but he is a very deeply flawed hero. But he's the reason why this film still matters and why you should seek out, show this film to your friends, why you should watch this film often. He doesn't win. He doesn't land the job at the end. He doesn't fix his past. He doesn't win the contest. He doesn't become enlightened. He doesn't win $1 million. He doesn't get the girl.
No.
It's none of that happens. It refuses to land on a clean resolution. Instead, it ends on emotional growth. He asks to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's a radical request from this type of character.
Yes.
And what you're getting is someone who once measured his entire worth by sexual conquest is asking for friendship and help. And by taking that small measure step, is taking a small measured step in the correct direction.
For sure.
And that is a huge, huge win.
Sure. Not to diminish the win, but to diminish it a little bit, maybe. This growth comes in the way. Okay, so he has like this great moment of emotional maturity when he wins the contest, but gives the trophy to the Puerto Rican couple, right?
Right.
But then he's like so emotionally distraught and pissed off that he gets into the backseat of the car with Stephanie, basically forces her back there, tries to sexually assault her, but she fights him off and she gets away.
Yeah.
And it's only after
Oh,
Bobby.
you forgot that's it. Yeah, sexual assault. There you go.
Yes, you're right, right. But it's only so she runs off. She's horrified, she's crying and just like, fuck you. And then they, go on the joyride to the bridge. Annette gets this night fucking sucks, by the way. Annette gets sexually assaulted, gang raped. Bobby falls off the bridge or commits suicide, however you want to see it. And then he is super sad. He rides in a subway all night listening to How Deep Is Your Love, or at least it's playing for us. And then he decides that, it's totally appropriate for me to go to Stephanie's house to have the heart-to-heart.
I understand. I get it though, because the thing is this: he is still a child. He is very much still a child. He lives with his parents. He's 19 years old.
Yeah,
and he's never had to not win before. He's never dealt with this very adult emotion or made a very adult decision to give back the trophy, to give back $500, a life-changing amount of money for him.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And he doesn't know what to do. He feels angry and distraught. And so he takes it out on Stephanie in a way where the only thing he does is that he sexually assaults her. Probably didn't know, mean it, doesn't, I don't forgive him. I'm not excusing it. He is a monster, shouldn't have done that at all. And he should probably seek therapy. But he just didn't know what to do with those emotions at that time. And the only way emotions at that point that he's ever felt was either sexual desires, these very base emotions. So he was just venting them in one of the emotions that he already normally knows. So he was
Okay.
probably venting in one of those directions. After a night of escalating chaos, and it was already marked by so much cruelty, so much guilt, so much tragedy, so much chaos, and so much confusion, Tony just finally hits this emotional breaking point. And after his friend Bobby dies by suicide, and after Annette's assault, after his own attempt at an assault, after being relentlessly mocked, and after being shamed, and after being pressured, and after being like all this other stuff, he's just shaken to his core. And now he just, at the end of the movie, he's just riding on this endless subway track. He's just tired and he's exhausted, and he's just thinking of his own failures for this unlimited amount of time. And he's forced to confront the cost that this life has given him.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like, excuse me, like one of the things that I read into it too is, okay, so in the wake of like seeing his friends behave like idiots on this bridge for the second time, at least this is the second time we've seen it, and seeing Bobby die. And one of the last thing Bobby says was, "Why didn't you call me?" You know what I mean? And we never hear or see Tony really address that or feel or like directly address that failing of his of not being a true friend to Bobby and not being there for him, like using him for his car and stuff, you know, like not really paying that much attention to him. And in the wake of that, the one thing that he wants is like he wants to be friends with somebody who's much healthier for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like somebody who is pushing him in the right direction. Somebody who, even though she was kind of like talking a big game about like all of her ambitions and all that stuff, like she still has the right spirit for him to like kind of show him like you do have potential, you can be intelligent, you can make yourself better. I'm trying to do that. And being around that type of person instead of being around these douchebags that he's been hanging out with for like who knows, like his entire life probably.
He made him realize that this world was suffocating him.
Mm-hmm.
And that when he took her to meet his friends, or when he took his friends to meet her, and they were all like, "Oh, she's a bitch. She's
Yeah.
spoiled. She's
Snooty.
up,
Yeah.
she's snooty." And he's realizing that these friends are never going to let him grow.
Right.
They're always going to keep him down.
Mm-hmm.
Because he admires Stephanie a lot.
Yeah.
And if he ever wants to get to what he considers her level and just kind of grow and be to that place where she is, his friends won't allow that.
Right. Well, they don't have the capacity to
No.
to grow along with him. Like, and that's like the one thing that made him stand out so much is that, you know, he's charming. Like he actually genuinely cares about people. Like the way that he is with his brother is so great and
Yeah, I
so
love the
tender.
relationship with him and his brother. That's
Oh, it's
so,
so good.
so
And it's
good.
like it shows like this different side to him, you know, like this vulnerability, this like unconditional love, you know, and this care for him and just this admiration for him. And it was just so sweet. Like, and to see him like how he is like with his mom, like how he teared up like making her upset, you know, and like he has like these great moments like where you're like, oh, there's like a human in there. Like you're not just some cocky, brutish asshole. Like you are a person with like real genuine feelings and you just don't know what to do with them, you know, and you don't know how to express them in the right way in the right moments. And he lashes out. He doesn't know how to contain himself. He's impulsive and like just very juvenile in so many ways. But, you know, that was like this light that would come out of him like in those moments. And that was something that you never saw with these other guys ever in any context. And so we always knew that there was hope for him. Like you could pull back these layers and expose it. It just took the right person coming into his life in order for that to happen.
In the beginning of the movie, you saw that disco is his escape, and now he has to escape that life.
Yeah.
Because that life was killing him.
And now he's going to Broadway and staying alive.
Sylvester Stallone.
I'm sorry. You just let me walk right into that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, it's his brother that sets up the sequel, because he's like, no, you can do something with that dancing. You can. You can do
It's
something with it.
true.
You can,
It's true.
maybe you can do some Broadway with it.
And boy, does he ever. That's another podcast for another time. although it probably would be fit. I actually rewatched it. It's not that bad. He's an asshole, but he's not that bad. Not in comparison to this movie.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I've seen Staying Alive a lot.
Me too.
I love that movie.
I watched it way too much when I was younger, and then I rewatched it right after this one because Paramount Plus just played it for me, and I just left it on, and I was like, "Oh my god, I think I remember the dance moves."
Oh, no. Directed and written by Sylvester Stallone with a soundtrack by Frank Stallone. It
I
is
know.
a 80s artifact. It is fantastic.
It is incredible, and for a second I was like, "Wait, is Kenny Loggins the choreographer of the Broadway show?" It's not.
No.
It looks exactly like him though.
I mean, it was like that song. It was a look.
It was a look, and that was like the Kenny Loggins look, like
It
Circa
was
Danger Zone.
Did you put out a soft rock album this year? It looks like you did.
I think you meant yacht rock. He's like one of the yacht rock legends. But
that was the look of the 70s. If it wasn't disco or punk, it was then it looked like you put out a soft rock album earlier in the year.
That's true. That's true. And I mean, a lot of Cynthia Rhodes appreciation in Staying Alive. Because she's no longer, I mean, she's alive. I shouldn't say she's no longer with us, but she's no
What
longer.
happened to Cynthia Rhodes?
She lives a lovely life in Chicago, apparently. I looked it up.
Oh,
Like she quit acting and she wanted to devote her life to like raising her kids. And so she lives a quiet life in Chicago and sometimes does fan events, is what I read.
okay. I mean, it's
Good for her. But I love her. She was in Dirty Dancing. She was in this.
Yeah.
She was in a ton of 80s stuff. She's great. And she's an incredible dancer.
Listen, she's like one of those great forgotten 80s performers that just, you need to kind of celebrate. Her and Cynthia Rothrock.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we just went off on a huge tangent. We basically just did an entire episode about Staying Alive on its own, so we can probably skip that one.
Back to Saturday Night Fever.
Back to Saturday Night Fever. Okay.
The absence of consequences can make you feel morally hollow.
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, there's no consequence. Like, first of all, just going back to the point where we were just making about Stephanie, like, she forgives him way too fast. Way too fast. This guy just tried to rape her. He's like, I'm sorry, like through the door. And she lets him in, strike one. You know, lets him get out of the corner on his timeout, strike two. And then is like, it's cool. Like, he has to take like a 5-second timeout for what he did. Like, no consequences. Like, there's definitely no consequences for his friends who are way worse. But there should have been, I don't know. There should have been like a little, like he had to come over like a few more times before she opened that door, I feel like. Or like written a letter or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, what you gonna do? I mean, it's not gonna move the plot forward. We're gonna like 3 hours.
Yeah, we're already at the 2-hour mark. We got to wrap this shit up.
Yeah.
We don't have time for a fucking letter. I feel you. It's fine.
Listen,
okay, but yeah, lack of consequences.
But there's a lack, and it's for modern audiences. I feel people are going to be let down. A lot of people were let down by the ending because it's not an ending people want. He doesn't get the girl, or doesn't. It's not that kind of end movie.
He doesn't deserve her though. Not in that way.
He doesn't. He doesn't deserve, but it's baby steps. He's got he's got to make amends for a lot.
Right.
And he's got a lot to learn, but he's
Yeah.
making a turn in the right direction. And for me, that's everything.
Yeah.
And you know who else thinks that? Siskel. Gene Siskel. It was his favorite movie of all time.
I read that too. I can't believe that's his favorite movie. That's so wild. Gene Siskel of all people. He's so curmudgeonly.
He is. He disliked a lot of my favorite movies, but this was his favorite movie of all time. And he bought the white suit, and it hung in his house.
I wonder if he ever wore it. Do you think he ever wore it?
I remember reading an article that asked if he ever wore it, and he said that it was a little bit too long for him.
Oh, because Travolta's probably tall.
Yeah, and he said it was
Back to the height
miserable.
issue.
He couldn't quite fit into it, but it implied that he had tried it on.
I love that. I would have totally tried it on too.
I would have too. I'm not gonna lie.
I would have been swimming in that thing, but I would have tried it on. Okay, yes. Lack of consequences. There is no justice for Annette at all. There's no justice for a lot of the people who are wronged in this film at the hands of Tony's fucking douchebag friends. Yeah, that's a major part. But like I was saying though, I think that's probably par for the course in that neighborhood. It's like they probably do all sorts of fucked up shit and have no consequences for it.
Yep. So,
So
do you chuck or cherish this movie, Chrissy?
wait, can we talk about another
Wait,
pro?
go
Can I
ahead.
just celebrate John Travolta in this?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's
Oh, he's
fucking
astounding.
incredible.
He's
He's
astounding.
Yeah, he's incredible in this. Like
And
I think he was 23 when he made it, so he's like super young.
he was still in Welcome Back, Carter.
Still in Welcome Back, Carter, where he got his like big break, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then, but he's like stunning in this. He's gorgeous. He walks down the street like nobody else can walk down this fucking street. His dance moves are incredible, and
He is
I mean,
electrifying on that
he is.
floor.
Oh my god, he's so fucking good. And I mean, talk about a character who could have been somewhat one-dimensional, but he brought so much dimension to him. I mean, we've already kind of covered it, but he can be angry, he can be spiteful, he can be funny, he can be vulnerable, he can be sweet, he can be tender, he can be caring, he can be atrocious. You know what I mean? He's all of those things all at once, and he like builds like this fully formed person that it just seemed like he'd been living in this skin for fucking ever. Like he just seemed like a real person. And I totally understand why he got nominated for Best Actor, which he totally deserved to be when he got nominated. And I mean, this is like such a fucking iconic character. I'm not always easy, but I mean, great characters don't need to be. As a matter of fact, they're better when they're not. And this character is not easy, and he at times is not easy to like, but there are times when you just can't help but like him, and it's like it's so conflicting, but he's so fucking great in this. Like he makes this movie so good, and I can't imagine anybody else doing this part. Anybody.
Every single time he is on the screen, you cannot take your eyes off of him. You cannot look away. He is absolutely riveting.
Yeah.
And when he dances, he is a goddamn angel.
Oh my god. It's so good. It's so good.
It's
just like so much fun to watch, and he looks like he's just so into it, and he's just got this attitude, and it's just like, it's so good.
All of my chakras fired whenever he was on screen. You're just watching someone do what they were meant to do.
Yes.
It's like watching Prince in Purple Rain.
Oh,
and when you're watching someone do what they're supposed to do, it just hits you in the right place, and you're like, get so much joy out of it. It just feeds your soul. And that's what was watching the dance scenes in Saturday Night Fever were like.
Yeah,
good ones, not the Stephanie ones.
Not the Stephanie ones. He is like, I mean, he is tearing up this dance floor like crazy, and he did all of his own dancing, and I mean, he just oozed sex and just rhythm, and just he was just so confident, and his moves were so good. I mean, I just can't say enough good things about how fucking good he is in this. Like, I mean, and this is like the John Travolta, like this is like him skyrocket. I mean, in Grease, he's like the same way. Like in Grease, he's incredible too. Like I love him.
He's such a weird actor because like Eddie Murphy, his career goes in waves.
Oh yeah.
Like he like does amazing work, and then he does fucking shit, and then he does amazing work, and then he does fucking shit, and then now I don't know, he's back in the fucking shit pile. Yeah,
I don't think he's done anything lately. I hadn't looked.
Oh, he did that really terrible movie about the fan, and that was
right. Okay, I think I remember that one.
I don't know where he is now in his career, but like he's got some great movies, and he's got some bad movies. But I can tell you this: if he's dancing in any of those movies, it's going to be a good movie.
Usually, yeah. I mean, but he had like a streak for a while. Like he was like an it guy, and then he went away for a bit, and then like Look Who's Talking was like his big kind of comeback, and then he went away for a bit, and then Pulp Fiction, he came back, and that was like his big comeback. Like they're like, oh, here's John Travolta again,
He was like, he wasn't like, it's not that he went away. He was just in a bunch of hot garbage.
Right. Right. I mean, which is like kind of like Hollywood graveyard stuff.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, but if you guys want a taste of like just how good John Travolta can actually be in a film, this is it. Like, I don't know if he gets better than this. So,
I agree.
okay. Wait, is there anything else? Like we praised Donna
Just
Pascal. We praised
again, one of the best-selling soundtracks of all time.
the
I don't
soundtrack
think
is
we have missed
fucking
nothing on
fire.
it. The soundtrack is goddamn fire. I own 3 copies of it on vinyl. It is
Mhm.
fantastic. It introduced the Bee Gees to the world. They
Yes.
were a rock band prior to
A teen rock band.
If you didn't see the Bee Gees documentary that is currently available on streaming, I highly recommend it. It will make you cry.
I was just gonna say the same thing. I cried too. It was so good.
It's so
It's
good.
a really good documentary.
My favorite Bee Gee is Maurice. I have the Maurice lunchbox.
I gotta give it to. I mean, I'm so basic. It's Barry for me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
and it's so sad too because it's like actually kind of a tragic story. Like they like were teen idols kind of, and then they skyrocketed to stardom like with disco, and then there was like all this shitting on disco that happened, and then like they kind of couldn't do their thing anymore, and then they became like these incredible songwriters that didn't really perform that much anymore, but wrote for like all these amazing artists.
Correct.
So it's a fascinating history. I highly
It's also
recommend
like
it
their
too.
family dynamic is really interesting because they also have
Yeah.
they had a much younger brother. They had Andy
Yeah.
Gibb,
And
who
oh yeah, so
who
sad.
was for some reason some of them were British, some of them were Australian.
For some odd reason.
They all had different accents because they all moved around and there was like vast age differences.
But we ask no questions because they're incredible and they're
Yeah, but
fabulous.
they
We
were
love all of
so
them.
insanely talented.
Yes.
I am a very, very big fan.
Yeah. No, the soundtrack, like you can't take the soundtrack out of the
And
film. You
also
just can't.
like
Like
explore them outside the soundtrack because Tragedy is fucking fire. It's such a good song.
oh, Tragedy is great. And Barry Gibb's duet with Barbara Streisand is a personal favorite of mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good
Anyway,
stuff.
I think we can
We can do it.
All
Okay,
right.
Chuck or Cherish.
Cherish.
Okay. She's hugging herself. For those of you who can't see,
It's such a great movie. It is such an amazing movie. I love this film. It is not a feel-good film.
No.
No, you can't put this on a rainy day. This will make the rainy day worse. This is very much a film you come back to every now and then, but it is just masterful, wonderful filmmaking. It is with fantastic performances, a great soundtrack.
Yes.
It is a time capsule for the era.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's weird for me to say like I love this movie because I'm still deeply disturbed by it and makes me feel really icky a lot of the time when I watch it because of a lot of the things that we've already discussed. But yeah, I cherish this movie because I mean, like I said, John Travolta is just like magical in this. Like he's just like a force to be reckoned with, and he's so great. The dance sequences are a lot of fun. The soundtrack is a lot of fun. It is kind of like putting a mirror up to a very specific type of man that grows up in a very specific type of neighborhood, and it's kind of unflinching in that depiction, and I appreciate that. It's like guys that grow up here probably aren't very nice to women, and they learn these things and it's passed down. It's like you see it with like Tony and his dad. He's just like berating him. He's not a nice dude, and he wants
Right.
to get away from that, right? And so there's like a generational aspect to it too. So like, I mean, it is problematic, but life is problematic. And life in this neighborhood is problematic. And so given that, like, I like how they brought it to life. And once again, like, it's just like an incredible performance by John Travolta. So
Yeah.
cherish for me too.
Yeah.
Cherish for me. We agree again, Erin.
Yay.
Yay.
I like it when we get along.
It's even more fun when we don't.
Yeah, it's true. All right.
But yeah, okay, so watch Saturday Night Fever if you get a chance, if you have not seen it.
Buy the soundtrack. Listen to
Buy the soundtrack several times on vinyl like Erin did. Or listen to it on Spotify like I do. And that's all we got. Anything else, Erin?
That is all.
All right, well, thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Adios.
Bye.
It's in a